Let's take a deep breath. Inhale the golden light coming from our crown chakra, going down to our root chakra. And exhale through our crown chakra. Inhale. Exhale. The more we inhale, the more we exhale. Our body is more relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. Now, let's imagine Mohanji sitting in our heart chakra in a golden light. Now, let's invoke Mohanji. O Guruji, please bless us while we read your stories and leelas. May you fill us with your wisdom and grace. Guruji, bless everyone who attended in our session today. May you guide us and protect us always. So I'll start the reading. It's the part 3 of chapter 1. So I'll be reading. Wait. Swami Chaitanyananda by Mohanji. Chaitanyananda Saraswati Maharaj was an old saint who lived in the Vashista cave ashram on the Ganges. He was a direct disciple of Swami Purushottamananda, a disciple of Swami Brahmananda of Ramakrishna Mission. Swami Purushottamananda, Sivananda Swami of Rishikesh, and Tapoban Maharaj were considered the three spiritual stalwarts of their era. Sage Vashista, one of the Saptarishis and preceptor of Lord Rama, meditated in these caves for a long time with his wife, Mother Arundhati. Many great masters, saints, and avatars have meditated in this beautiful cave. When I came in 2000, the spiritual power of Vashista cave captivates me. In later trips to the Himalayas, I did sadhana there in the caves and river Ganga that flowed majestically by the ashram. When I went there in 2000, my ex-wife Sarita was with me. Understanding the deep sorrow, Chaityananda counseled her, I know your sadness. I have the power to call that soul and ask, would you like to return to your parents? The soul will ask, I have many parents in my lifetime. Whom do you want me to go back to? This is over now. If I'm coming back, it will be under a new set of parents. She did not belong to you. Do not cry too much about her leaving. She came through you, stayed as long as she wanted, and left. I know there is sadness, but if you understand clearly, you will know that this part of the drama. I shared a heart-to-heart connection with this pious saint, a humble guardian of the Vashista cave. He was a feisty old Swami and guarded the place tenaciously to keep it pristine and maintain its sanctity. To maintain the purity, Swamiji did not allow anyone to stay there and simply ignored all the tourists. He also did not let anyone take his photographs. During my first visit, I asked him if I could stay there. He looked into my eyes, scanned me, and said, come again. The following year, 2001, when I went there again, he asked me if I would like to stay there. Since I had already taken up a job as a country head in the Middle East, I had to decline. I met him every year and always looked forward to visiting him when I went to Himalayas. I always treated him with reverence and prostrated at his feet. He was always very kind to me and showered a lot of affection. On our visit, he regaled us with enchanting stories of his past. The most memorable was his pilgrimage to Kailash Mansarovar in 1961. Sans proper clothing, footwear, or knowledge of the local language, his master gave him a single rupee coin, hardly sufficient for a journey that takes months. He proceeded with full faith. The divine provided everything he needed during that pilgrimage. Every time he spent the rupee fully, another rupee coin would find its way to him. In 2004, when I informed him about the attacks that were happening, he said the following, which I felt was very relevant at that time. This is what Swami Chaitananda said to Mohanji. There are many acharyas, swamis, abadutas who do their job and leave. Very rarely, someone like you come on earth with this kind of power. An incarnation that works on a vast canvas, involved not just superficially, but deeply with so many aspects of existence. Your birth is not ordinary. It happens once in a thousands of years. You can connect to an acharya, teacher, or master to teach you a particular path. But you are multifaceted, operating in multiple dimensions at every point in time, which is very rare on earth. To connect to someone of your stature, you need to have eligibility. You need to be at least a river to connect to the ocean, or you will dry up. Those who left you, it is their loss and a great misfortune. Next story, Swami Kriyananda by Saju Mangalam. This incident happened before Mohanji's public life as a spiritual master, when I knew him simply as Mohan, a close relative and a loving friend. He used to visit Delhi from Middle East en route to his trips to Rishikesh and the Himalayas. I used to pick him up from the airport, take it, take him to our home, and he would travel from there. Back then, family and career were my focus with no inclination towards spirituality, not even a mild curiosity. My conversation with Mohanji during those visits touched upon his miraculous experiences with masters and spiritual hotspots such as the Vashista Cave, Badrinath, Tapoban, etc. However, they were nothing more than interesting conversation. I was far removed from God, spirituality, sadhana, or seva. Around August 2005, Mohanji came to Delhi from Dubai on his way to Rishikesh to perform Amu's annual Shraddh ceremony. He asked me to accompany him to meet an important person that evening around 5 p.m. before leaving for Rishikesh. I thought it was a business meeting, but Mohanji clarified that he was meeting Swami Kriyananda, the founder of Ananda Sangha and a direct disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda. Vanamali Mataji had graciously arranged the meeting. Having heard of these fantastic spiritual masters from Mohanji, I was very excited to meet one up close and personal. Curious for the first time, I asked him to tell me more about Swamiji. He spoke at length about the book Autobiography of a Yogi and its illustrious author Paramahansa Yogananda and his peerless lineage that started with the deathless Master Mahavatar Babaji and his powerful disciple Lahiri Mahasaya, credited with restoring the forgotten practice of Kriya Yoga in the modern world. Paramahansa Yogananda referred to this ancient practice as the aeroplane route to soul realization. In a way, this enlightening discussion was my initiation into spirituality. Mohanji wanted to meet Swamiji due to his immense respect for Kriya Yoga tradition. Mahavatar Babaji and Swamiji's master Paramahansa Yogananda. Interestingly, Mohanji delivered his first speech in USA in 2014 at the same Unitarian Church as Paramahansa Yogananda. He also visited Yogananda's ashram and samadhi during that same visit. Later, Mohanji had communions with Babaji and started initiating people into Kriya Yoga as instructed by the masters. We reached the Ananda Ashram in Gurgaon, a lovely villa with tall gates. We waited outside with a group that had also come from Swamiji's darshan. We discovered that he was recovering from some ailment and unsure if the meeting would occur. We waited almost an hour before they opened the gates and led us into the living room where Swamiji was with the sister who ran the ashram and few of his close followers. He was sitting on a long sofa while we sat on the ground. Soon the room was full of people. Being sick, he was frail and feeble voice, yet very charming and gracious. Swamiji inquired about the group. Mohanji mentioned his professional role as senior management of logistic company. He spoke about his regular visit to the Himalayas and his connection with Banamali Mataji. I also introduced myself as senior management of an industry confederation. He seemed delighted to meet us. A satsang followed. Swamiji spoke about state of Samadhi, Kriya Yoga, its evolution since Yogananda, and the spread of an intent of Ananda activities worldwide. He patiently answered the people and also asked a few questions. Mohanji answered them, and he was very satisfied with Mohanji's answer. Later, he became silent, beckoned Mohanji to come closer, and touched Mohanji's third eye with his forefinger, which I later understood was a Shaktipat. Mohanji sat by his side, holding his hand. I felt they were conversing and communicating in silence. When it was time to go, Swamiji told Mohanji, "Why don't you stay back and have dinner with us?" I found out later that it was rare for him to invite someone for dinner. Mohanji apologized and excused himself since he had to immediately leave for Rishikesh to reach in time for Amu's Shrad, scheduled for early morning the following day. We prostrated and took Swamiji's blessing and left the place. Once we reached home, Mohanji took taxi and started his journey to Rishikesh. Though it seemed a casual meeting, I felt it was a very powerful for Mohanji and me, an inflection point like the start of a big journey. Mohanji's transition from a professional to a public life accelerated soon after. AmUCare activities intensified. Many more people started seeking him. His public activities began in earnest. And finally, Debbie came into his life in 2007, accelerating this process even further. I feel the world started knowing Mohanji after this meeting. Similarly, I realized for the first time that there was something beyond material pursuits. Bindu and I started going there regularly and got initiated into Kriya Yoga. We started reading spiritual books on meditation, Kriya Yoga, and spiritual tradition and philosophies, etc. We got deeply involved with Mohanji Seva activities. I started understanding Mohanji better and appreciated his insatiable thirst for the spiritual and unflinching desire and purpose to improve the world. End of the story. Next is Conviction by Mohanji. Many years ago, I met a person at a marriage function in a prominent palace-like place. He was standing in a corner looking out of the window, staring into the eternity. Even though I did not know him, I instantly liked him. I recognized from his finger, joined together in a particular mudra, that he was practicing, like a doctor or engineer recognizes one another. I approached him and said, "Pranams to your master," which shocked him. I said, "I see that you are practicing Kriya." He asked, "How did you know?" Since the question did not merit an answer, I repeated, "Pranams to your master." So we started talking. He mentioned working in a senior position in a reputed company in Singapore. One day, he got a telepathic communion. "Come to India, your master awaits you." There was no further information. Immediately heeding the message, he came to New Delhi and stayed in a hotel room, awaiting further clarification. He waited patiently, unlike most people who look around on the internet for master or institution. He strictly followed his intuition and did not go in search of a master. He had firm faith that he would finally reach his master. It's like in school where we sit in a class and the teacher comes to us. We do not go to the teacher's room searching for a good teacher. Eligibility brings the teacher to us. In a week, he had another revelation. Go to Calcutta. He went there, took a hotel room, and waited there. A few days later, he received instruction, moved to a remote village, and was guided to a local primary school teacher. He reached the school and waited for the classes to conclude and for the teacher to come out. When the teacher came out, he approached and touched the teacher's feet. The surprised teacher exclaimed, "What are you doing? Who are you?" He said, "I come from Singapore looking for you. You are my master." The teacher replied, "You are too old for my class. Also, you probably know that what I teach these children." Saying this, the teacher left him. Determined to get his teacher's attention and acceptance, he would doggedly approach the teacher daily, who continued to reject him. "Why are you walking behind me? I do not know anything. I do not have anything to teach. Please leave me alone." He was a stranger in that small village, around 800 people, and his actions were conspicuous and seemed out of place. He had rented a room in a farmer's house that housed the farmer, the farmer's family, and their animals. Finding no toilet in the house, he asked the farmer, who pointed to the open fields and said, "All yours, pick your spot." These living conditions were far cry from his comfortable and luxurious life in Singapore just few months ago. A month and a half later, with no progress, he felt he may have made a mistake and decided to return to Calcutta and then to Singapore. That evening, the school teacher visited him and said, "I am not your master, but I will teach you how to reach your master living in a remote cave. The path to the cave has little or no oxygen, and it takes 2.5 hours to reach it. You have to learn to hold your breath and live without oxygen for 2.5 hours to reach your master." The man told me, "The school teacher taught me how to hold my breath and survive without oxygen. Now I can hold my breath for an hour and a half. In a year, I hope to do so for 2.5 hours, allowing me to reach my master and get initiated into Kriya." I was amazed by his conviction and tenacity. He was sure of what he wanted and that he would find it. Everyone has their level of endurance and will crack at some point unless one is completely out of their mind or have no mind. Next story, Charlatans by Mohanji. The Glittering Teachers. All that glitters is not gold. During the early days of my spiritual journey, I started connecting to Satya Sai Baba when I frequently visited an ashram that had his picture everywhere and his arati was sung daily. The spiritual teacher there apparently had the power to materialize. I look at him as Bhagawan Satyasai. See how manipulation works? In our ignorance, we think someone is Bhagawan because they can materialize something. Any magician can do the same. We can be deluded for a long time because we connect to them as another with misguided devotion. It took me many months to realize that he was using me. He wanted me to put under his umbrella to exploit others through me. People started coming to see me. I wondered, why? Because I serve in the ashram like everybody else. I have a group in Qatar who started my program there. They started coming to his ashram because I was there. He collected substantial amounts from them. The teacher hinted to them that I was also involved and received a cut. They boycotted me. I have no clue what's happening. I discovered this much later when I received a call from one of them to check if I got a share. An Asian princess, a close friend of mine, came to see him when I was there. She said, Mohanji, I spent a lot of money staying in a resort. I would prefer to build my own place to stay when I come here. I agreed that it was a good idea. When I suggested this to the spiritual teacher, an architect immediately came to see the princess and quoted a price. She agreed and asked to commence the work. After a few days later, the teacher doubled the price. By the time she reached her country, the price had quadrupled. The princess called me and said, Mohanji, do they think I'm an idiot? She was very sharp and recognized him for who he was. I was more blinded at the time. I met her at the palace for dinner when I visited her country for a work-related visit. She explained the manipulation that was going on. She was the first to warn me, Mohanji, you are a pure soul. You do not belong there. Get out of that place before they tarnish your name. This teacher disciple often visited a school teacher who practiced astrology. The school teacher asked him how his spiritual teacher was doing. He replied that things were going very well with many visitors and activities in the ashram. Then the school teacher asked, how is Mohanji? The person replied that I was doing fine. The school teacher said, one day, Mohanji will become very famous and eclipse your spiritual teacher. This disciple informed the spiritual teacher about the school teacher's prediction. Then he started creating problems for me, and the actual manipulation started. It took me a while to understand the game. I trusted him blindly. He messed up with the divorce with my first wife by having his lawyer present for me and messed my case. He also told my in-laws that Mohanji is a very rich and asked them to demand a substantial amount as alimony so their daughter could live comfortably. He knew I had little money because I was gullible enough to give him access to my accounts, and he had siphoned all the money. The worst was his lawyer's manipulation handiwork, resulting in an arrest warrant in my name for contempt of court. He wanted to get my passport seized so I could not leave India. Fortunately, I replaced the lawyer immediately, and the new lawyer got me out of the uh, got me out without a scratch. He once told me that Bhagawan wanted me to return from the Middle East, stay at his ashram, and take care of things there. I asked him why Bhagawan was not speaking to me, especially for such an important decision. By that time, I was already feeling his selfishness, so I did not take any action. Soon, I started having communions and getting direct answer from Bhagawan Satyasai Baba. These things are very much real. Sometimes we get used. The important thing I learned from this misadventure was that devotion overrides everything and ensures our connection to and protection from divine, irrespective of what the other person is doing. You connect to consciousness and things began to change. I have no regrets. I consider it education. I never tell anyone that I am their master. If people ask me, "Are you my master?" I always reply, "Let be through your realization, not my saying." If you feel that way, it is fine. If you do not feel, that is also fine. There should be no binding. We should flow freely, so I am free and you are free. I maintain this consistently because I cannot deliver purity if I do not have purity. Even now, when he is very even now he is very active and still exploits people. He mentions my association with his ashram to people, indirectly hinting at his involvement in my success and legitimizing his work using my name. He promotes a meditation that I had scripted and recording in my voice. I have heard that he had earned millions of dollars from it. One of my followers asked me, "I listened to your voice in a meditation not listed on your website." I replied, "I gifted this meditation to them." The princess asked me to sue him and take it back. I declined. When I gave it, it was from the heart. Let him keep it. An acquaintance attended his teacher discourse recently. He knew that I was connected to this teacher many years ago. The teacher manifested sacred ash and gave him. This person also knew magic tricks and responded by manifesting ash and giving the teacher, which upset the teacher. Recently, a famous actor invited this teacher to his home. The teacher had his assistant to go to their altar and put vibhuti or sacred ash on the Baba's idol. A while later, his assistant went to the altar claiming that vibhuti had manifested in his teacher's presence. Unfortunately for them, the CCTV camera caught him in the act. I heard that the actor got so enraged that he had them beaten, unceremoniously thrown out of the house. I saw this spiritual circus displayed at Kumbh Mela when Devi and I went in 2010. We booked a tent that was 8 kilometers away. When I asked the price, they said 12,000 rupees, around 150 euros. I agreed. When we reached, they said 12,000 rupees per night, not for the whole stay. That was a completely different equation, an astronomical price for a grabby tent and a shared toilet. Each time you go to the toilet, you have to clean it first. We were cleaning more than using. We had to pay, of course, since it was impossible to find anything else once we reached there. Once they get you, they milk you. The Kumbh Mela has millions of people congregating in one place. If you lose the way, you have no idea how to get back. A terrifying situation. Since the tent was so far away, our main issue was we did not know the roads as we were visitors. They said, "Do not worry, we will go together as a group with the flag. You can follow the flag." We walk and help each other as we are going. The main activity in the Kumbh Mela is taking a dip during the auspicious days. As per the system, there is a prescribed protocol for the dips where various monastic orders have precedence and take dips in sequence. When they finish, the common folk take their dips. When it was our turn, we started toward the river to take the dips. Meanwhile, the saint who took us said, "I have already taken the dip," and returned to the tents. Once one attends the Kumbh Mela to take dip, and here our guide had already taken one and was returning with the flag. I told Debbie, "Rush, pour water on your head and come out quickly. We will not know how to return if we do not follow him." After spending so much money and effort to dip in the Ganga, missing it in the right auspicious moment was such a great feeling. We saw the monk standing on one leg. His tapas was to stand out on just one leg. I befriended him and sat with him for some time. Then I had a question. "How do you go to the toilet?" He became furious and shouted, "Go away!" His disciple liked me and told me privately, "He stands only when people are around, otherwise he sleeps." I also met many spiritual teachers or leaders who get insecure around me. There is a dire need for collaboration and unity among spiritual community. This me and mine had no place in my spirituality, be it practitioner or teachers. No real master will ever say, "I am a master. I was his I was this before, or I have come from here." Who they are is not important. What they do on earth is. In spirituality, being ordinary is being extraordinary. Those who have nothing has everything. I had never heard any godfather in my life. I never had any tycoons assisting me to establish. I never had a specific roadmap. I never had a master who handed over his seat. I have not been a part of any groups or established organizations. I stayed away from conditional relationship. I never claimed any spiritual powers. I never told anyone I am enlightened, nor I have any, nor I have told anyone I am their master. I never discriminate against people based on any division of society, social structure, or individual finances. I have not chased anyone, any position or titles. I have never claimed to be perfect, pure, or different from others. I have always been one with the people. I am one with them always. Nothing special, nothing different. I feel ridiculous when I see teachers hold on to their followers and bind them, compare themselves with other teachers, get involved in one-upmanship and competition, and even scheme to bring others down. If you desire to prove the world, it will not help you. I have experienced many instances where the insecure have hijacked agendas, created divisions, caused confusion, and prevented that what would otherwise have been a great collaboration and opportunities for change. I avoid the master's mantle with associated expectation. I have positioned myself as karma yogi, man of service. I am accessible to everybody like a friend. I do not reveal anything. One can only gauge if they watch closely. People still hallucinate, associating me with past forms or their frames and concepts. Hence, I operate like shifting sands. I cut them down and bring them to reality. Otherwise, I cannot deliver their mountain-like expectation, inevitably disappointing them. I choose this format specifically so I could work unnoticed. The work is happening anyway, and hundreds of testimonials attest to it. Come with an empty mind, no expectation, and you get everything. Okay, so that's the I think I would like to end that uh because there's still more pages.
It's a lot
Yeah.
to absorb. Yeah.
This is
Wow.
so long. I didn't
Yeah.
notice it,
Direct messages for us. Oh,
but
it was a direct message for what we experienced just recently.
oh wow. Can you share?
Sandra, would you like to share it in a better light? That's
What
so
is it? What? Go ahead.
Mohanji's the incident that Mohanji experienced at the Satya Sai Baba's ashram.
Oh, okay. Okay. What year was this? At around when he was starting, right? When he has no followers yet.
Yes.
It's the charlatan, the glittering teacher part. Yeah. We have many like this, but we're
I think
lucky.
it's always like that. I mean, it's not like it's not unknown.
Mhm.
Of course, we don't you think the challenges come from people who think they have all the power? you know, and if the intention is to subvert, confuse, and manipulate people for their own gain, they do that,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it shameless and down to a fine art.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they manipulate who are vulnerable, people that are truly
Mm.
looking and searching. These
Yeah.
things happen.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy that,
Monty's important,
yeah,
what he says. Sorry, Joanna, you're saying?
I'm so happy that Mohanji shared this to us, because we're also, sometimes we go through this teacher not knowing that, he just our ending is manipulation, and yeah, we got scammed sometimes, and we're happy that, through Mohanji's so Nirvana is
Dubious people, Jana. Monji just comes through like an eagle and just picks us up, like a golden eagle.
yeah. Yeah.
It was literally like he just gave this message so directly to us and effortlessly. Thank you, Jana, for being
Yeah.
the instrument today.
Thank you to Mohanji. And I would like to share the part where Mohanji met Swami, the Swami of Vashista Cave. I would like to share my experience, because I went to Rishikesh and visited the Vashista Cave last 2018 together with my husband. And the energy there, it's like when you go to the cave and sit down, it's like you're not on earth anymore. It's like you're in a dark void, and you will just connect instantly to this silence. It's a very beautiful place to meditate. And we near that Vashista cave, there's a Arundhati cave where they said that Jesus came to meditate there. So we're lucky we got to visit that as well. And Mohanji said that
Was it
Swami,
like,
huh?
Joanna, was it feel like a portal? Like the cave
Yes,
was an open portal? Because,
yes,
it's a multi-dimensional portal, because if you go there and you experience that, you know that you're here, but you're not here.
yes, yes.
Mm.
This
And
all the inter
it's like when you go there, you go inside right away, There's no mind, there's no thoughts, just a complete silence. Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah,
Joanna,
What-
I can steal that off your brain.
yeah. And it's so silent, it's so beautiful. I couldn't explain. It's my first time experiencing that to a cave. I know it
Wow.
has
what did
You're
huh?
blessed.
you went with time? I'm just curious. Sorry, I just stopped you there because I'm also curious to hear what Felix experienced there.
uh Actually, he experienced a very deep also, but he didn't mention anything in a particular, like a miraculous experience.
Oh,
But he also experienced silence there, because we meditated
okay.
separately, and we're
And you
enjoying.
download.
Yeah, no
Yeah, you
download. I
don't.
think, and he never,
No,
maybe an
download the.
energy.
It's in silence. Yeah, your
Yes,
cells get downloaded. Yeah,
yes,
and
the
you
silence.
cannot express the bliss. You cannot express the message because it's clearing off and
Mhm.
it's fulfilling all your the energy portals in your own body.
Yes, yes. I like
Technically.
that, when the download of silence. I like that. Yeah, because in that's the only cave I experience where I experience total silence. You know,
Hmm.
you only experience yourself. It's like you're in a dark cocoon or void, something like that. You're transported somewhere else. It's like that.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
feel like that.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
whole universe and no universe at the same
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
Wow.
Mohanji, little did I know that I haven't met Mohanji that time, but because of that trip, I I saw his posters everywhere. And also he mentioned that he met the Swami there. I also met the Swami there. and got a
Oh.
picture with him. Mohanji said that the Swami Chaitananda
Chaitanya, yes.
doesn't
Pictures,
like.
Yes,
yes.
Swami.
I got pictures with him, and I gave him
Mm.
apple because I don't
Yeah.
know. I have one apple and I got to give it to Swami. And he was really sick that time. I think he had the cancer already. And
Wow.
we're so fortunate to meet Swami, Swami Chaitananda. And he gave us blessing and candy. So,
Pranams.
Manif-
Bless you.
yeah. And
Divine.
that
You're
would,
definitely divine to
yeah,
get there.
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
I'm so happy. And Swami told Mohanji that he's not an ordinary, he's a like a master that is not very, that very rarely comes to an earth, you know. His power and his kind of power is very rare. An avatar, meaning he's an avatar. This is a,
I would do that.
you know, not just Abaduta but an avatar which rarely comes to an earth. Meaning avatar comes only 1,000 years.
Hmm.
It's not he said
The,
that's
Mohanji's caliber comes every 1,000 years.
mhm.
Well, we have, and how many 1,000 years has our current race of humanity had? Not many.
Like I can name Sai Baba, such as Sai Baba, yeah, Mohanji. But I don't know why they said that's very rare. Your birth is not ordinary. It happens once in 1,000 of years. You can connect to acharya, teacher or master to teach you a particular path, but you are multifaceted, operating in multi dimensions at every point in time, which is very rare on earth. To connect to someone of your stature, you need to have eligibility. You need to be at least river, connect to the ocean, or you will dry up. So we're so lucky.
Oh,
That made,
Jay Manji.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I heard you reading, wow. I
Yeah.
also
Well,
felt, you feel that and you think, oh, I am with Monji, but I always think, I am Monji, me, there is no separation.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Have inner
thank
conviction.
you,
I
Monty, for
always,
loving us.
mm-hmm.
And
yes.
Monty loves us
Yeah.
very much. So that's our daily prayer.
Yeah.
And the other message, Sandy, was if you remember, I was also told
Mm.
which parent, which
Yeah.
parent in many lifetimes. Amu told that too with the saint, with the Swami Chaitanya,
Mm-hmm.
gave the message because he could actually go. And I was told the same thing, Jana. Which parent are you
Wow.
mourning when you have so many of the past lives?
Mm-hmm.
And it just cuts you off, like you're so still and you realize you're totally detached. You love them, but you actually end up praying and asking forgiveness and for all your lifetime, parents for all your lifetimes. And it's very, very comforting. It's very, very so deep that like you can feel that unconditional love for lifetimes
Mm-hmm.
when you actually say that. Thank you for my parents for my lifetimes. You release all that karma. It
Okay.
feels so good. So that message is also uh,
Very nice.
yeah. So I think it's a message for all of us because we all
Mhm.
that are here. It's just not for me. It's just re-emphasized now that we need to thank all our past parents because we're going to masters. We're going to merging with our master.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
have no show. It's guaranteed where you've been. You started where Monji started. You went to the cave unknowing when Monji started to meet Saint with Swami Chaitanya. So it's not by default. It's by divine intervention. Wow, it's like we got we met dubious people in the same, in the posing as entities, like divine entities, which you give but you think how comforting that he also experienced it and how quickly help came because we
Mhm.
connected to the consciousness. You can't
Yeah.
shift us from Monji's consciousness. It somehow draws you out like, hey, we're not interested. But the truth is, we're dropping everybody around us. We only connect to the soul.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, comforting. It's so reassuring. Yo,
Yeah.
There's also another point, Joanna, you brought up. Nearly, I don't know, Anna is still there. I love the fact that Moju expands us. So he makes us understand we are multifaceted. We are multi-dimensional beings. So what it does is take you out of the comfort zone and you think, oh, this is my life. This is all I know. These are the people that are connected to me. And then we start to see lineage. And then we start to our lifetimes. And then to grow. It's like that a frame of reference just expands. In fact, I feel like Monji has just broken every frame that I've had. Monji
Mhm.
has reset how I think. So I don't like to be in situations where I'm boxed in or pushed into or manipulated. You always, it's like something comes up, like a red flag goes up and say, that doesn't feel right. And then you learn to listen to your inner intuition. So Monji's been through this. It is like how Lord Ram came to show us how to live a life of Dharma. So he lived the life and he showed us how to be. Monji is doing the same thing.
Mhm.
He's teaching. It's okay. We can't say,
it's all our
oh,
lesson.
why did we do that? Why did we have to mean? No,
No, don't
accept it.
question. Accept it, no question.
Mhm.
Because
Embrace it. Move on. So,
yes. We just moved
yeah.
on. It's so easy to move on anyway. Because they say stay
Yeah.
empty. He said stay empty
Mhm. Mhm.
and no expectation. You get everything. Once he said
Wow.
it, yeah, he said it in the book. Stay
Beautiful.
empty,
And
no expectations. You get everything.
And
Joanna, you also, sorry,
huh?
say, speak.
What I like
I know.
here, yeah, what I like here too is that when Mohanji talks about, he doesn't like to be boxed in. He doesn't like to be, stayed in one organization or one particular group or I love that. I love that. It
Free. He said be
yeah,
free. And Monchi
be
makes us
free.
feel we are free. We
Mm,
eternal, we are free. We eternal beings, so we free. So if we
yeah.
understand that we're connected with the consciousness, we become eternal and then we're free.
Yes.
When Margie talks about that section is so powerful. Can you reread it,
Oh,
Joanna?
I
You know
think
that
I have,
section where
yeah.
I think it was at the last. He was saying all these things, and I'm too busy enthralled listening to you read it. I did not write anything down. So I mean, I know. Thank goodness you're taping it, so I can have a reference to
Yeah.
go through.
When ordinary when you stay ordinary, when you be stay ordinary, you are the extraordinary. You are the extraordinary.
Yes. And also, Margie said eligibility brings the teacher to us. I love
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm,
Be ordinary to be extraordinary. In today's society, they always tell you you're too ordinary. I've heard it's thrown at my face. You're absolutely ordinary. You can't go anywhere in life because it's the material mind that's working, the
mm-hmm.
material attachment and the mind working. And I will just go in, Monty. I can't be anything else but ordinary because I am nothing. I'm connected to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't
Mm-hmm.
express this to people because they just don't understand it. They don't understand
Not
that you're so deep within that they call you too ordinary because nothing phases you. They don't have the desires. You don't have the inclination to put your mind into the noise, to even put your mind in the noise because you're silencing the minds. You're so used to silencing and staying in silence. So yeah, I thrown that. So I'm quite happy that he said be ordinary to be extraordinary.
Yes. And Mohanji's humility is really unparalleled. You know, yeah, his humility is really really amazes me so much.
Because he said he's a friend of the world. So when you're a friend of the world, it's comfortable to tap in at any level.
Mhm. I like the part two here that really catch my attention. That he's trying to unite himself, or he's trying to unite all the masters with him. You know, he wants to connect and unite all the master for a specific work here on earth. And
Yes.
now he mentioned this here, and now I can see why he's connecting to a lot of masters, because he wants to
Yes.
unite every
Everyone.
masters, everyone, for a
Because
single goal and purpose. Yeah.
Because he
goal is
said, don't be fooled. My master, your master.
Mhm,
Whoever comes to you and makes a change in your life, okay, that we accept that. We perception, we accept him to be our master.
mhm,
But the biggest master is the super consciousness, the consciousness.
mhm, mhm,
And that's why we're able to attach to connect to everyone, no matter whether you're Christian, Muslim,
mhm,
Judaism, Sikhism, because we connect to the consciousness.
yeah.
And that's what
Absolutely.
Monty is so effortlessly uh, has taken us to this elevation point because of awareness. Because once you're aware of this consciousness, then you can connect like a open tap. And that's for me. That's my experience, my perception of things. Yes, and also we've come across a lot of masters that has taken us, to to the master that you connect or to you hook on. And Monty has made us realize that how their consciousness, that we were so ignorant at that stage, has helped us to reach the super consciousness that's in him.
mhm.
He
Because
always tells us that we are that. It's not like we are.
yeah,
That's the thing about Raja Yoga Path. We are that already. What he's doing is just allowing us to work through all these veils of darkness, all of the
dissolving.
confusion,
It's path
all
of
the misguidance.
fire. You do have to dissolve. You have to drop
Yeah.
everything to nothing. It's not bhakti where
Well,
you
that's
know you're flowing with the grace, but here you're dropping. You are burning it
right.
out.
I love that. We do, as sophisticated as we think we are, we do need those baby steps to get there.
Mhm,
Slowly, but it is. So it's like a deconditioning. You have to like uncondition. I'm not even using the right word. You have to regress. You have to go back.
Unlearn. You have to
It's
unlearn. Mm.
but there's a lot of conditioning in our world, in our society. You learn a certain way. So in our learning, from the time we move from a innocent child state, and we grow, the conditioning sets in. And then it's like we are programmed to act a certain way, to go to church a certain way, go to temple a certain way, to love God a certain way, to speak a certain language, to hold our hands in a certain way. And yet everything is inside us. So what I love is, I always say this, Mohanji expands our mindset, how we think. So we're able to grasp, like Joanna, I bet you now if you go into Vashishta cave, you will know what's happening. You will know why you are there. You will
yeah.
feel that multidimensional aspect of who you are, because you're connecting to, it's like almost like a space where all dimensions intersect. How powerful is
And
that?
she
Ah,
all been there. She put a foot in there. So it's already the
those,
cave is inside
yeah,
her heart space. So you
Wow.
don't have to go
no,
anywhere to Jana.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll do its work from where you are. The portal,
Yeah.
you
yes,
became the portal. You became the portal
yes.
because you're now sharing that light to all of us.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
absolutely. Yeah.
So that's
You know, I guess I said
oof,
that because, Ri, I guess I said that because times our mind has to, I want to go there to experience. I want to meet Manji to experience. I always say people stop and feel Manji inside because we're always on the reverse. We're always looking for materializations. We're always looking for vibhuti. We're always looking for amrit. We're always looking for what? Moji says, stop looking outside.
Mhm.
Feel
he
your
said,
conscious.
break your concepts, break your frames, break. Joanna,
Yeah.
he literally screamed at me, Nirvana,
Wow.
break your concepts. He was like 150 people in Kailash with him,
Wow.
150 people at the ashram. And I literally was sinking in my chair.
Amazing.
So
Yeah.
he actually broke my frames because he screamed. And he
Right at
said,
that
break it.
moment. Yeah, he broke that.
He
Yeah.
broke everything and he said to me, I've got you. I bless you. I bless you. This is your last life.
Wow, amazing.
It's a hard
Anna,
journey,
I know
but
it is.
when he talks about it, I can just die laughing because Joanna, I was actually sitting on a chair and I was as red as a tomato, and I was literally thinking. And the next time Monty came live on Zoom, at that time, for the one ashram thing, I was hiding in a corner. He asked for me to greet him.
Oh,
You see,
wow.
yeah. So we all are here. That's why he said, be ordinary, be simple. So we've got no egos talking and whether how intelligent we are, how focused, because each one's experience is uplifting to each one of us if we connect it right.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
There's no
yes.
right or no wrong, and
No,
you start feeling that. I feel your experience, and I expand further. I feel Sandy's, but I must understand that my own experience is what's going to shake me and shift me.
yes, yes. You're unique, your own authentic self is
And
really showing, and you're sharing that with us, and to us, for us too. We're sharing our authentic self and unique self.
when you went to a retreat with Monji, no, first time in India.
Last December, yes.
Okay,
At
I want to
Shirdi.
ask you something, Shirdi. Before you went to Shirdi and Monty had spoken, Sandy, I don't know if you need to do validation as well. I want to have your opinion, then I'll express mine. When you went for the first time, not knowing anything about Monty, you basically went raw like me. I just went to check him out. I was reading another Brother Swami masters, how they greet and what about a master? Okay, let me check this out. That's how I went, technically. But what was your experience when you looked at everyone that was there?
Actually, I'm not looking at everyone. I'm just experiencing the energy. It's like,
No, your energy. What was the energy? Because you'll be looking at people at a point where like you're at the dinner table or
mm-hmm,
lunch
mm-hmm,
table,
mm-hmm,
and you'll be zoned out for a moment in a haze. But you
mm-hmm.
look at everybody. What did you feel, and what was the inner voice telling you?
Inner voice.
I had two experiences this that I'll share later. Sandy, you?
What are you talking about? Watching the footage of the Kumbh Mela? Because I haven't had
No,
the
no,
privilege.
no, no.
Your
No, when
experience.
you went to your retreat, your first meeting with Monchi and the people that were there. There was a selected number of people.
Yeah, I there's a heightened sense of you pick up the energy because there's it's like to be honest, I didn't realize it there, but as you enter even the empty space that you're driving in, everything is electrified because
Mm-hmm.
I realized
Hmm.
what he energizes the space. And I've experienced that in later retreats. But that first retreat, I was green. When you go in there, it's like boom. The energy levels are so high. And to be honest, I'm not looking at anyone else. I'm just so into what I'm feeling. And this is all new to me. It's like you're into yourself and
Mhm.
experiencing it. Really wasn't paying much attention to anybody else. I didn't even have time to think about anyone else. I was just inside myself because like a
Mhm.
huge, like a carnival at me, like boom,
Mhm.
boom, boom, happening inside of me. So I
Mhm.
mean, I
You, Joanna?
didn't
And you,
Yes.
Joanna?
Me, it's like the same thing too, same thing with Sandra. I wasn't really thinking about everyone because it's like carnival, there's a lot of happenings. But I was really, when I first, this is what I experienced when I got the chance to question Mohanji, and he was in front of me, and I was surrounded by his disciples. When I was about to ask question, Mohanji told me, Joanna, did you share your stories to everyone? And I was so shocked with that. Why is it that Mohanji asked me that? And I was frozen, and Mohanji was I've also almost I forgot my question during that moment. I forgot my initial question. And
We know all that feeling.
yeah, and I asked a different question. Good thing I was able to ask a question, and then I felt it's like I'm burning inside, and the crowd became haze, and it's only me and Mohanji, and it's like I
yeah.
couldn't even remember his answer because I am burning inside. I told Sandra that I wanted to run away from it. But I'm so I'm ashamed to run, but I just stood there and wait for Mohanji to finish the answer. And it's taking him long, but in deep inside me, I was already burning inside. I know, because
Wow.
I can really feel Mohanji's intense energy on me, and really amazing.
Yes. Yeah. I
I
mean,
just
the shock.
realized something
Yeah.
that I experienced the first time I met Monchi was that I looked at everybody, and there was a point where I realized I've known them for years, many lifetimes. And there was a point that I realized that everybody had such tips and elevation points. It was like the hotline, as with energy that we've all come through, and I could feel how he stabilized everybody.
Mhm.
Where everybody, I can have them speaking to you. I can actually still visualize that and feel that how he made us all one being, where
Stable.
I didn't know them. I've never seen them in my entire life. I don't know their life experiences, what traumas they went through, but I only could know that there was a point where you could feel each person's unconditional love. We didn't
Mhm.
even know Monji,
Mm.
but you could connect to that. And now
Yes.
I realize why I could do that, Sandy. Because 2 weeks
Tell me.
before that, I was
Mm.
2 weeks before that, I just made a realization now. I don't know why I answered this question. Is that when I was attacked, the energy allowed me to be zoned out, to be one connected, and where I was attacked, but I wasn't, although I was beaten up, I wasn't harmed at all. And I was already in a no expectation mode. I was in a silent mode because I was just still. He stilled me that moment twice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Monty is with you. They have never done that. Also, Nidhi, you're who you are. You are so connected. You're not just Nirvana in this life. You know that multi-dimensional. We, like the people in the satsangs and retreats in Monji family, Monji said once, we are all connected to each other in previous lifetimes. We may look different. We may have been different races in other lives. I mean, look at Rajesh. He was a soldier. I mean, in another life, in this life, he's writing books about Mohanji.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. So it makes me think, Nirvana, that realization is really big. You need to
I
connect.
just realized it's big.
Yeah, it is big.
Oh,
It's all grace flowing now.
mm.
Just-
Yeah, because every word was conditional frames, frames and concepts. Everything was pertaining to that.
I actually
Or
looked
to
at
break
that
it.
line. I really looked at the line and I was making notes as Joanna was reading. I said, stay away from conditional relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ordinary to be extraordinary.
This is why we suffer. We get attached to conditional relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And when do mind becomes free? When we choose correctly, when we choose with awareness, with with a sense of purpose,
Mm-hmm.
higher purpose. There's more clarity that comes. Monty says he operates like shifting sand. So don't try to put him in a box. So
Mm-hmm.
don't put yourself in a box. Don't even say, because when people look at you and say, oh, yeah, I know. That's Joanna from the Philippines. Oh, Anna, yeah, definitely Philippines. I know who she is. Nobody knows you. And the irony is, for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know.
Yeah, because
fully.
every
We are
moment in life you're evolving. You're not the same being.
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
you can't step into the same river twice. You can't have the same flow. If you step into the
you
river,
sleep.
it's the same thing.
Yes, sorry to interrupt you, Nidhi. Mohanji says when you sleep and you get up, it's a new day. Everything is new. You reset. So what do we choose? We go back to the same grind. The same grind. That's why we suffer. Choose different shift. And when we make that shift, it's always in our heads. It doesn't have anything to do with the because when we get it right in our heads, our environment changes because we are creators.
Mm-hmm.
We have power to create our life experiences. And what we do, we give it to everybody around us. Here, take my power. Won't you say no? Stop. Look at yourself. And look at Moji walks the path of pain to bring us this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't, Moji went through it. He had to go through it for us to come say, oh, if it happened to him, it's okay, it's happened to me. I can handle this. He didn't have to go through all. Could have just come in his huge avataric form and say, okay, I'm here now, it's time to shift. How many people are going to do that? Huh? Because our mind messes with us. Our mind messes with us. Anna, you're keeping quiet. How do you feel about that?
I'm just listening with you guys.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah, I feel it, and I want to share also when the first time I stepped in Shirdi, that I felt before that I was into that place, and I really connecting to all the places that I don't know, maybe in my past life I was there, and everything is so easy for me, and I'm excited every day and going with the flow. Every people I see people, or they are uniqueness of the people there different. And I don't know, I just go with the flow. And every day I'm excited. Every moment I was there, I was so excited. That's I can
You
yeah, I can share. And up to this time, the reading, I because I was left during the reading, so only I just get that message that I guess the simpler the better. The simple understanding is the better way. And just I guess and I think um yeah, you are right that we don't have to look for the presence of Mohanji or the form, but we look Mohanji inside our heart. In
Mm-hmm.
silence.
Beautiful.
He's there in the silence.
Mm-hmm.
Just That's
Beautiful.
why these days I always in the silence. Wherever I go, I'm in the silence. I know he's there in the silence, not everywhere, but in the silence.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
beautiful,
I
Anna.
love that.
Wow, Anna, so beautiful. Why don't you always say
Just
flow and glow? Flow and glow
Just flow. Just
and
go with
glow
my
and flow and
the
glow. Flow with, yeah, flow and glow.
yes.
Go with the flow and you'll glow. Beautiful, Anna.
True.
you fired us up. We're all
Beautiful.
talking.
I can feel that silence.
Yeah, I like that, Anna. I like that.
Yeah.
Where there is silence, Mohanji is there.
Yes. In the silence.
In the
Don't look for
silence.
anywhere or don't imagine. It's the mind. It's in the mind. It's in the heart. It's in the silence. That's what I understand this time, these days. No need to think or no need to
Mm,
imagine him. Just be
mm,
quiet and be silent, and he's there.
mm,
Absolutely, Anna.
That's called
Absolutely.
Yeah.
aren't you always trust. It's such a big word. Why do we get into trouble? We forget to trust. We want to be led by our noses. Oh, I want to see. I want to experience. I want to meet this person, but I can get their energy. Whoa. No, you already have it.
mm,
Stop. Monji says pause. Because the mind is taking us outside. Like a Grand Prix race. You know, it's on a raceway, just racing us away from what is real. We are real. And it's simple. Be still. Stop the noise. Listen to the satsang. It became silent again. Monji's grace flows.
I don't fond of talking. I'm a silent type of person. And sometimes I said, what shall I contribute? I don't want to say anything. I just want to be in the silence. So now I discovered that Mohanji is in the silence. You are there. He is there. He's there in
Yes.
your heart. Yeah. So nice to be
I
in
know that
silence
feeling.
mode.
Yes.
Yes, so nice in the silence mode.
I have
That
the
you
same
don't
thoughts,
care.
Anna.
That you don't care about anything. You don't care about what other people say. Just do your
Oh,
simultaneously your job, what you need to do, your responsibilities, and be silence. That's it.
You
beautiful.
got it.
Absolutely.
You got it. It's so
Satsang.
simple. It's
It's
so
simple.
simple.
It's so simple.
It's so simple.
You can actually in silence, everything comes in silence. The light, the brightness, the light,
You get everything. Monty says you
silence.
get everything. When you
Yes.
empty, you silent, and no expectations, you empty and silent. So you get everything.
I like that. So
Thank you,
simple.
Joanne. I know
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Yes, thank you
Nirvana. Thank you,
everyone.
Anna.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Jana.
Another
Thank you, Sandra.
amazing
Thank
day
you,
with
Anna.
You
Mohanji
everyone.
and everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Jai Mohanji. Om
Jai Monji.
Saram.
Bye-bye. I'm sorry.
Bye-bye.
Bless you.
Bless you all. Thank you.
See you
Bye-bye. Thank
tomorrow
you,
if I
Anna.
can. Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
tomorrow again.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.